Good morning, students. Hope all of you are fine at home. Myself, B K Singh, your science teacher from Oriental Public School, Kishanganj. Students, today we are going to start the third chapter of your science book, that is fiber to fabric. Students, we know that fiber are of two types, that is natural fiber and synthetic fiber. And natural fiber are again further of two types. These are animal fiber and plant fiber. So in this chapter, students, we will have to discuss animal fibers only, and the common animal fiber are wool and silk. So especially we will discuss this wool and silk, students. Now, students, we will discuss the variety of wool first. And wool are of four types. Number one, fine wool, and fine wool actually it is obtained from merino sheep. And student, this wool may vary from 1.5 to 5 inches long. And another second one is medium wool, and this type of wool is obtained from Hampshire and Suffolk, Dorset and other breed of sheep, and its length vary from 2.5 to 6 inches, student. Third one is long wool, and long wool actually its length vary from 5 inches to 15 inches. And next one is fourth one, carpet wool, and this type of wool is obtained from crossbreed, and its length vary from 1 to 15 inches, students. Now, students, we'll discuss that animal fibers, that is wool is obtained from sheep, goat, yak, camel, llama, alpaca, etc. And after this one, student will discuss the next thing, that is manufacturing of wool. So manufacturing of wool is carried out in following steps. Number one is washing and shearing. So the sheep are washed in early summer and sheared a few weeks later, students. After shearing, students, next step is grading, sorting and cleaning. So it is sorting means classifying, student. It is being classified and then it is cleaned. That means dust is removed with the help of duster machine. And after that, student, washing and scoring. The process of removal of grease and dirt etc. from wool by washing it with water containing alkali is known as scoring. And fourth step is, student, that is carbonizing. So this carbonizing, actually in this process the removal of vegetable matter like seeds, burr from the wool is taken, and it is carried out immersing the wool into tanks containing dilute sulfuric acid. After this, fifth step is drying and oiling. So student, the wool is next rinsed in clear warm water and sprayed out on racks until it becomes dry, because it is drying. And the process of making wool soft is done by oiling, and it is done by dipping the wool into oil, and after dipping it into oil it becomes very soft and elastic also. Next one is carding. Student, carding the process by which wool is blended. Blend means mix up. So mix up, that is different type of different variety of wool. When it is mixed up, that is called blended. So it is wool is blended, opened out and converted into soft, thin and gauze like band is called carding, and it is done by carding machine. Now student will discuss spinning and weaving. The spinning and weaving, actually students, the woolen fiber are drawn out and twisted into yarn. Twist means just wind it into yarn, that is thread, we can say. The spinning and weaving is carried out by the few steps, and these steps are: first is dyeing and bleaching. So students, the yarn become yellow in color due to scoring, and it is bleached to get white color yarn. Bleaching, you might have heard, when the color is being removed. No, suppose some cloth is there and if you want to bleach it, after bleaching what will happen, its color will become white. So in the same way wools are also being bleached, and this is done by acid dye. And next is finishing. So students, the woolen fabrics are not attractive because they are rough and coarse, and in the process of finishing woolen fabrics are dried and stressed, and its surface is brushed to raise hairs to make it more attractive. When hair are removed, it becomes more attractive. And after that one, student, next process is drawing. So this process draws, drafts, twists and wind the stock, and drawing is required only in case of worsted yarn. After, student, that is roving. So roving is the process of light twisting operation to hold the thin slivers intact. Intact means entire, make one. Students, that is slightly twisting the different fibers of wool, it is tried to make a intact, a complete one long rope. That process is known as roving. And next one is spinning. Spinning, that is twisting, student, we can say. The woolen yarn are spun on the mule spinning machine. It is just rotated continuously, by which it just becomes strong also. And next process is unshrinkable wool. So unshrinkable wool, student, it is the process of preventing the tendency of wool to creep by removing or modifying the scales on the fiber. And tapping renders the scaly surface of the wool fiber soluble, smoothing it and making it shrink proof and glossy. Now students, after wool we are going to discuss manufacturing of silk. The manufacturing of silk is carried out by special workers, and it is involved the following steps. Number one step is sorting of cocoons. The cocoons are sorted out. Sorting, again, it is classified. So classification of cocoon is done on the basis of color, shape, structure and texture after sericulture. And next process is number 2, softening of cocoons. So first, after sorting, it is made soft. So this is to make it soft. They are treated with hot water and mechanically brushed. And this brushing is used to separate out the outer layer of the cocoon. Next, after this, this third number is reeling of fibers. This means reeling of fiber. So in reeling of fiber, reel means that is a wound on something cylindrical thing. That is reel. You might have heard of thread, dhaga ka reel. No, so that is so in this process 3 or 8 of the cocoon filament are reeled together, and the compound thread passes out and down and then up again. So every cocoon produces 100 to 200 feet thread. Sorry. After this, drying of skins or hanks. So the thread now passes to a swift where it is wounded in the form of hank. And after this one, bleaching is there. So the wool actually that is the extra gums from silk fiber is removed by treating it with hydrogen peroxide or sulfur dioxide. And after this, dyeing is there. So dyeing, that means coloring it. So like wool, silk has very good affinity or attraction for acid dyes, and which produces brilliant shade on this silk. After dyeing, dyeing means coloring. After that one, printing is there. So printing, actually silk fibers may be left plain or it may be printed by any method. It may be roller or screen or block method. So next one is finishing. Finishing, that is final touch. Finishing touch is required to make it more attractive, soft and lustrous. Next, now student, after we have discussed the manufacturing of silk, after that one we will discuss characteristics of silk. So students, yes student, one thing we had left, that is life cycle of silk moth. So first we'll discuss the life cycle of silk moth. Students, it is actually it the silk moth have to pass through different stages of its life, and here you can see in this diagram that there are different steps or different stages of their life has been shown. And first one is egg. Egg on the right corner, right upper corner, you can see that that is the first condition, or on the green leaves eggs are there. The first stage of their life is egg, and the egg is the first stage. It hatches in a spring season, students. And after that you come to next one, that is larva. The larva are also said as caterpillar. So egg hatched into a larva. No, first from egg larva comes, and this stage lasts for about 27 days, and during the course it sheds its skin 4 times, and this is termed as molting. After this student, next stage is pupa. This is also, you can see that is, it is also said as cocoon. So the caterpillar spins a cocoon of fine silk around it in layers, and this is done for 6 to 7 days. After that the next step is it changes into, that is next is we can say it is a cocoon with developing mouth. So unwinding of silk thread from the cocoon is done by soaking the cocoon in hot water, and it is called reeling, or 3 to 4 silk fiber are twisted for weaving. The prevent silk yarn from splitting. This process is known as throwing. After this student, that is next one is adult silk moth. So the pupa changes into the moth, and the thread coming out of its cocoon are then spun into silk moth. And when the female adult lay eggs, and the cycle continues. And this is the life cycle of silk moth. After this student, we will discuss types of silk now. So students, silk are of two types. These are mulberry silk, which is also called as cultivated silk, and non-mulberry silk or wild silk. And student, further mulberry silk or cultivated silk has been categorized into two types. These are reeled or net silk, and second one is spun silk. And student, that is wild silk also has been categorized into 3 types, and these are tussore silk, muga silk, and eri and indi silk. After this student, we will discuss characteristics of silk. Students, first characteristics of silk is color of the fiber. So cultivated silk has yellowish or to grayish white color, while the wild silk is yellowish or brownish in color. Next is luster. The fiber of silk are less lustrous due to gum present on the fiber. After that student, third characteristic is strength. The silk fiber have more strength in comparison to the other fabrics, and it is considered that the strength of a wire of iron and that of a silk fiber is similar if its diameter is same. Next student, the diameter. So silk fiber are fine and long and have a diameter of 0.00059 to 0.00118 inches. Next characteristics of silk is length, that is silk fiber have a normal length of 800 to 1500 meter, and in some cases it may be a little longer. Sixth property is elasticity and resiliency. So silk fiber are short, elastic, and have a resiliency, that is if these fiber are pressed and on release of pressure they regain their original shape. And next is flexibility and crease resistance. Students, silk fabric never shrink and also do not lose crease. Next property is hygroscopic moisture. That is, silk fabric can absorb about 10% of moisture. And after that, effect of light. Students, silk fabric becomes dull in presence of strong sunlight. However, pure silk has lesser effect of strong light. After that, student, last effect of heat. The excessive heat will cause damage to the fiber, but mild heat and change in temperature has no effect on silk. So thus we are summarizing this chapter, student, and in our next video we will discuss the next chapter. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day and stay home, stay safe.